Hi, I'm Brian.
Hi, I'm Brianna.
Hi, I'm Divinity.
Hi, I'm Fox.
Hi, I'm Leslie.
Hi, I'm Manny.
Hi, I'm Rooney.
Hi, I'm Nicholas.
And we're the Teen Advisory Council.
All right, so our topic for today is random questions because I can't think of anything, but I will keep asking you questions and you tell me to stop. So we will begin. So what age do you think a parent should give an iPhone or a smartphone to their child? Kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, or when they turn 18? Or when they're driving?
Never.
What do you think?
I mean, I feel like middle school is like just the right time because you're not too young, but you're also kind of like becoming a teen. So it's kind of like just right in the middle.
Yeah, somewhere in middle school, because you might need it for school, you might need it for homework. Then, later on.
I have to refute you'll need it for school because I haven't had a smartphone my entire life and I'm in high school. I don't think you need it for school.
That just sounds miserable. I'm sorry.
No, it's great fun. I get to have everybody think I'm miserable.
I mean, okay, I always had like the worst phone, and I always had like friends like pick on me for it, and I was like, whatever. And then like I didn't get my first iPhone until like my first like technically smartphone, which is an iPhone, until like 11th grade. The rest were like weird like phones, and like I know like people gave me crap for it, but I definitely think for like a kid to get a smartphone, I think it's high school, because it's always nice like in class when they're like, hey, like do you have quizzes on your phone, or hey, do you have this or that, like you can pull it out like when you need it for school or something, instead of having to share or get up to grab a Chrome card. Like I know Nicholas, like you survive like doing just fine, which I totally understand. Like you can easily counter it, and I respect it. I agree, like you can, but to me, I feel like it's a little bit easier when you can just like if you need to look up a word or something instead of pulling a dictionary. Do I own a dictionary? Yes, but it's easier all with the power of your phone.
And that is society today. Instant gratification on your smartphone. It's easier to have a smartphone.
Okay. Hold on, think about this, okay? Not everyone has like the resources to get their stuff done at home with a computer. Not everyone has a computer. So if they have a phone, they could go to a library, their school library, use whatever they have there, or like the public library. Hey, use the Wi-Fi there or something. Anyways, I think middle school is probably the best time to do this, to get a
What
smartphone.
age did you get? Oh. What age did you guys get your first phone? Not necessarily a smartphone, but what age did your parents give you your phone? Let's start alphabetically. Brian.
I got my first phone in 5th grade, and it was one of those old Cosmo slides. You know, like you slide up and then like the cool keyboard.
I never had one of those.
I remember those.
It was also 5th grade.
Dang, mine was 8th grade.
I was in 5th grade too. 10. I was 10. But it was like, I wanted one of, it was when Blackberries were a thing. I wanted my mom's like, the keyboard in the front. That's what I had.
Divinity, you said 8th grade?
Mine was 8th grade, yeah. I had like iPods and like phones that didn't like text and call. But then like my first real phone was in 8th grade. So.
Fox?
My first phone was in 5th grade, and it was my mom's iPhone 4.
Oh, my first phone was in 7th grade, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was just like an Android.
Mooney?
My first phone wasn't really much of a phone. Like it could call. It was like a little Nokia, and it was like about this big, and it had like half keys and a baby screen. I think I got it in like 3rd or 4th grade in case of an emergency, but I never used it for anything else. That was it. My first like phone with a screen was probably 7th or 8th grade.
I got a flip phone sometime in middle school. I don't know what grade.
So I got my first phone in second year in college. It's a 6110 Nokia. So that's how far in 1990, or is it 1990? I don't remember anymore, but it was that so long ago. So yes, my age is showing. Let's move on to the next question. What was the other one? Do you think, what was that? Do you think homework should be banned in school?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
I
Do you
I
want to
think it
do
should
it?
be optional.
it's just we'll open answer this.
That was a
Okay.
good idea.
In my math class that I had when I was still in high school, we had optional math homework, and most people didn't do it. And because they didn't do it, they didn't do well in the quizzes and tests until like last. They saved it up for the last minute. So when it's optional, you get lazy when you don't have that time marking, I think, to do it, and then you just never do it because you have an excuse to do another thing that is actually on a due date. So I think maybe not the workload that they give us. It could definitely be shortened, but I don't think it should be completely banned. Like, the homework should be effective, not like just busy work, you know?
Well, that depends on the severity of the class. Like, Brianna, you're talking about dual math, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that class is really hard. But I'm talking like for kids, like elementary, possibly in the middle. I don't think homework was super like helpful at that age. Like I feel like it was just kind of a time waster and it was busy work. Like unless
Well, maybe now you think that. Oh, do you have more to say?
what?
Sorry.
Oh
Did you
no,
have
no,
something
you're
else to
good,
say?
you're good.
Okay. I was like, well, maybe now you think that, but like, I think the point of the whole busy work in elementary school, at least, maybe not middle school, but elementary school, you're learning all those new topics, you know, all those times tables. Like, we needed to learn that for like future math classes. So I think and the workload wasn't that much in elementary school. So I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I agree too because like
My opinion.
even if the homework was just like even if you weren't learning anything, at least you're like getting used to doing homework and then having that responsibility. So when you do have homework that you actually need to get done, you're like you kind of have like a schedule for like how you do stuff.
Like
Anybody else?
discipline.
I'm kind of I want to go on this one. So I kind of going back on what Mooney was saying. It was like I do feel like elementary it was a little bit busy, but it was also necessary because like I know like I truly suck at writing. Like my handwriting's atrocious, but like you have those things to like kind of like learn like to follow the patterns that we can get a basis of it, and so like I definitely think that some of it was necessary, but the other ones where it's like Johnny has like 50 watermelons, like why do you need 50 watermelons? Like those I was kind of like, do we seriously need these? But other ones I feel like were important to get like the basis of addition and subtraction and that kind of stuff. It wasn't up until high school that I really saw homework as like truly busy work. Because I felt like in high school, teachers just started assigning stuff so they can assign stuff so they can say, oh yeah, well I handed this, and this out. Why don't you do it? So I feel like homework shouldn't be like gotten like banned or like abolished or any of that. I just feel they should definitely make it to as things that are necessary and never things that are like I don't know, like don't make homework busy work is what basically what I'm saying. Like it's better off to do it just as more of things needed and things that need to be studied.
I mean,
Anyone else?
I saw this documentary about Finland once, and basically what their whole system is that they have a 4-hour school day and they have no homework and they have no standardized testing. And like all their testing is basically like you have to actually know the material, like there's no multiple choice or fill in the blank, that kind of thing. So it's kind of, and they're one of the leading nations like in the world education wise. So they're doing something right, like whatever it is. I feel like here a lot of the work that we do for homework is just to get it done. We don't really take it, to learn from it. It's kind of like figure it out, do pass the test, and then forget about it. So I think I don't know. They got something going on. They're doing something right.
No, I agree with you. Whole standardized testing is stupid anyways. It just reinforces what you said. So
Yeah.
True. And I know
I see
everything
where
was
you're
like
coming from.
yeah. Like she was saying, it's like also I know Common Core now, a lot of things have changed since we went through the system. And like I know I've seen like you see all those like memes, but really it's like the kids' photos. It's like of like the kids' homework where it's like they have this, but like where do you get this? And everyone's like, where the hell did they get this number from? So it's kind of like a lot of things now are definitely more busy work, and it's definitely like, why do we need this? Like if you're not gonna learn anything, because it's super like confusing and complicated. So like I understand where you're coming from. Like there are countries who don't have it that are actually doing better than us, but there's also like kind of studies like homework does help a little bit, but also like I kind of feel like homework shouldn't really be a thing too, mainly because like you come home after like 6 hours of school, like you're brain fried, and then if you have work due the next day too, it's like it's pretty bad. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like while homework is good, it's also bad in a sense, and like should be get it should be taken out, but it also shouldn't be. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a 50-50 thing, if that makes sense.
Okay, so the next one is they in California, some schools in Southern California are considering for next year, but now the next school year is a little bit different because of COVID-19. But they were initially considering changing school hours for high school students and have you guys start at a later time and end at a later time. How do you feel about coming into school instead of like 7:30 to come in instead at 9:30, or 10 o'clock?
This wasn't implemented for when I was in high school. Okay, what I understand is in our school district, middle school goes in later than high school. Like early elementary, late middle school, and then early high school. What's the point of going in late in middle school? You're well off in middle school. Like high school is where you need the late start, okay? I don't necessarily agree with going out later, but that's kind of inevitable, isn't it? But I do like the idea of starting later, because I think most high schoolers stay up late, really late, doing their homework or just doing whatever. So, like, 2 cents.
How do you guys feel about starting later? Anyone else? Is it just Brianna?
Okay.
Brian?
I'm gonna chime in. I mean, technically, with like me and Brianna, like college and Fox, like a college, like we like our classes will be a little bit different. But like for high school, I definitely felt like waking up at like 6 every morning was kind of like frustrating because you have to you're basically starting a day without like having like any wake up at all. Like you're literally just like getting thrown into school and having to learn right away. And it's like, like it'd be nice to start later because that way you're more awake. It's like we'll actually have time to think and time to actually answer and not feel like we're idiots because it's 7 a.m. and we're doing math. It's like it would be a better system than what we have now. And honestly, like I know at least some of us know because we have the after school activities or whatever. We know what it's like to already stay later. So like I don't think it would affect us much because it's like, okay, we already stay to a certain time, like, or we stay sometimes all day at the school. It's like whatever. So I think it would definitely be better because people can actually have time to wake up and think and start their day off right instead of waking up at 6 after they just went to bed at 4 a.m. from doing homework. There's a chance for more sleep and all that.
The number of people that have fallen asleep in my first period is insane. Like we need more sleep. That's all I gotta say.
Is it a lot? I don't know.
But wouldn't it, I feel like it would be the same thing, just like pushed an hour back, because if we're getting released from school later, we started our homework later and we go to sleep an hour later. So it's just like the same thing, just pushed an hour back. Wouldn't it? Or is that just me?
You just need to scrap the whole system. No homework or less homework.
Yeah.
Change the whole thing.
Another question.
Well, I agree with my sister like a lot too because honestly, like I'd rather wake up early and then get out of school earlier as well because then I have like less time to do stuff throughout the day. So, but that's just me.
Anyone else? We're on
I
to
mean-
our next question. Oh, okay, go ahead.
I mean, like, waking up early, it's, like, more productive for me personally, but my brain's more awake later in the day. So it's like a lose-lose anyway.
I mean, we have late start
Fox and
Mondays,
Nicholas?
so that like
Yeah, late starts are nice.
exactly. Like I feel like I'm way more awake and I answer more.
Maybe just reverse it. Have the elementary school kids go to school at 7. Middle school goes to school at 8, and you guys start going to school at 9.
I feel like
No.
if we did start at 9 though, we wouldn't like appreciate it. Like we look at it now starting at 7 and like just the sound of it starting at 9, it sounds so cool and like we want to do it, but it's like that. But if we actually started at 9, I feel like we would still all be complaining about anything we can find. It's like that Lucky Charms thing everyone says. If you didn't have the Lucky Charms and the boring cereal, you wouldn't appreciate the Lucky Charms because you don't have like that. You don't have that good. You need to have like the good things and the bad things. Just I don't know. You know what I mean.
I think the time
Alright.
we have late starts are actually really nice. Like, that's a nice time. I feel like it's not too late and it's not too early for me personally.
I feel like they're so much more productive. Like, I want to actually participate on late start days.
Wait, you don't have late start?
Brianna?
So whoever was talking first can go.
Nicholas?
Well, I wasn't talking, but I really think that the whole teen sleep, starting school too early, yada yada, is like totally a valid issue. But like, I don't think it needs to be changed that much, and I don't think it's the majority decision. Like, I feel like the main reason they're like, okay, we have to come to school at 7:30 or 8:30 on late start days or whatever, is because they say, oh well, the parents have to go to elementary school, to middle school, to high school. I feel like they should try and simplify it and keep them closer. Like, just keep them in a similar location so the parent doesn't have to be like, okay, I'm running all around the place trying to drop off my kids. And then just have it start at a similar time and maybe a little bit later. And just simplify it. I don't know. My 2 cents.
Brianna?
Yeah, no, go back there. Sorry, I forgot.
Okay. So I don't know how accurate or trustworthy this is, but I literally just looked up in Google at what time in the morning does your brain actually start working. And the first thing that comes up is from 2014. So again, I don't know how like good this is anymore because it's so old, but it says for teenagers, neuroscientists say that they are biologically predisposed to go to sleep around midnight and not feel fully awake and engaged until between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. So I think it would be better if we woke up well, sleep at an earlier time, one, and then went in a later time.
That sounds right to me, just based off of like taking AP Psych last year. That sounds about right. I mean, we talk about how like the chemicals in your brain like that make you want to sleep don't get released until about 11 or 12.
But like, doesn't it depend on what time you wake up? Like, if you've been up since 6, you'd like most likely to be awake around 8, wouldn't you? Or is that just like a set time for every?
Well, I mean,
think
it also-
maybe just like every 2 hours after you wake up, you finally start using your brain. But even if you wake up at 6 and it starts at 7:30, that's not a full hour. I used to wake up at 5, so I mean, I guess I was okay. But when it comes to like people who would like live so close to the school, they're not gonna have their brains working at that point.
So for our school district, for Marietta Valley, parents were asked, or were given an option for the school year next year to choose what program their child will be in. So it's traditional, hybrid, or homeschool, or fully at-home learning, or homeschool, basically. So if you were asked what you want for yourself, what would you prefer? Traditional, hybrid. Hybrid means a little bit of classes at school, kind of like Julian Charter, as I would call classes, and then the ones that are just purely virtual learning or online learning, online school? What would you pick? Do you want to do alphabetical? We'll start with, or do we want to go backwards?
Backwards, and I get to interrupt everyone. I like hybrid. Hybrid still keeps in mind the flexibility of every student and every student's family. And like for me, especially, like I don't want to go to school for all the time. Like I'd like to do it at home, but I also kind of want to do robotics. So doing hybrid is a good way for me to do what I want. And it doesn't mean that everybody has to do a bunch of virtual classes. Like I might. It's very flexible.
Mooney?
I'm personally more in favor of traditional, but I like that it's optional. Like I like that everyone has their own choice, because that way if you're worried about, getting sick or whatever it is, then you have the option to stay home. So it's cool that they're just letting people choose. I think that was the right way to go.
Am I next?
Manny? Oh, Manny.
I think, well, like I've been doing distance learning like usual for like the past few weeks, so I've kind of gotten an idea of what like homeschool would be like, and I know that's not what I want. And like since traditional school is what I've been used to and what I've been doing for so long, I think I would pick traditional school. And yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Are you done, Manny?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. I hated distance learning. The only part I liked about it was that it was easy. I did not learn anything over distance learning. And it's so weird. I didn't know like I had to be in a classroom to actually learn this stuff. It like, I don't know. And I just miss like seeing just so many different people, like just saying and talking to people and saying hi. And like, I don't know. It just, especially like my friends, like I'm so lucky to have my siblings. So I like still talk to them here at home, but it's like, I only see my two siblings, and it's so weird going from like seeing like almost like hundreds of people every day to only seeing two, or I mean, four actually with my parents. But like, I love the environment of a classroom, just like, and like wasting time in a classroom because that's like fun too. I don't know, just yeah. So traditional for me.
Fox?
So for me, I prefer the mix of the hybrid, but I think it also really depends on the type of person you are. If you want more of the school activities that they offer, I think the traditional school is better for you. But if you want more of the focused education aspect of it, I think the online school will do you better because it's usually smaller and you can also get one-on-one help a lot easier.
All right. Divinity?
I personally like traditional, and especially since it's going to be our senior year, I kind of want to have like just be there the whole time. But like if hybrid had the same amount of online work as it did during distance learning, I like that amount of work. But overall, I would end up choosing traditional just because I get to see more people, and it's so hard to work at home compared to like at school in the classroom where it's a working environment.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, it doesn't matter, but I think hybrid would probably be a nice mix. I mean, I like the social aspect of traditional definitely because I don't talk to people outside school, so like that's my only like social interaction really. But hybrid is nice, I guess. Online was nice at first because it like gave me time to focus on my work, but I definitely like the environment of traditional more. But I don't know if it's because I actually like it or if it's because I'm so used to it, you know? So.
Ryan?
I don't know. I kind of like I barely did the social distancing work, so like I don't know if I would say fully online because like I'm lazy and I don't think I would ever be able to do that. I traditional was nice, but also like it wasn't fun always seeing those people. Like, while I miss my friends and like my favorite teacher, I also didn't like half my class. So it was kind of like, I'm okay without seeing them sometimes. And so it was like, I feel like a hybrid would be nice because it would still like mean I have to go and turn in work possibly. So like, I still have that motivation to do it, but and get to see like some of my friends and also my favorite teachers, but also like I can just be at home and not always there, and it would let me like do how I want to handle things. So I feel like hybrid would probably be like the best choice, especially with how everything's coming up when there's a possibility of what's going on. I feel like hybrid would probably be better for the future. Um, but for me personally, I think hybrid would be my choice.
My last question of the day will be, should parents give weekly allowances to their kids, or should their children earn that money by doing chores or doing good deeds or whatnot? So should it be given to you freely without anything attached to it, or should you work hard for it? And this is a free for all.
Okay, I want to start first. So I definitely, sorry, Manny, and everyone else. I definitely feel like kids should work for it because it also teaches them a lesson like you get what you work for instead of, oh, here's just like some free money every day or like every week or whatever. And so like there's no lesson to learn. It's just free money. And I feel like part of life is learning lessons. And if you have to do things to then possibly it teaches a kid, okay, if I keep doing my work, if I do all this, then I can get rewarded. Then it will be it kind of prep them for the future, basically like a job. Like you do your work and then you get paid on payday. So it kind of teaches them those basic foundations that you'll need later in life. So I feel like it's a good way of starting them young of saying, hey, you get to work for what you want instead of you get just everything handed to you for free.
Yeah, I strongly agree with Brian because if you're just like given money on like a weekly, basis, well then you just kind of become like a spoiled brat with like a whole bunch of money flexing on your friends and everything. And I think it's really important that you learn like to work for your money and then also like the responsibility of how you spend it and everything. So you're not just getting money every week and then blowing it off on expensive shoes. You know you work for that money, so you know how to spend it wisely. And I think that's important.
Anyone else?
I kind of agree with everyone, well, with what Brian and Manny said, but like, could you imagine what the kid would be like as an adult? Like, they would like be spending, I don't even know how to explain. They'd want everything, but they won't be able to have something. You kind of just ask your parents for it, or like, I mean, everyone grows up differently, but like, as an adult, they won't like, they're gonna go through like a hard time, especially a young adult, because they're gonna want so much that they were used to having as a kid, and now they can't have it. So it's like not only like a bad habit to develop, but it's also like just like a hard time period that they're gonna go through.
I have a last question. So this one is just to end it all. Which is a better dessert, a cake or an ice cream?
Cake. I mean, okay, I mean, it depends because like sometimes there's a mood for like ice cream because like ice cream slaps, but also there's that mood of cake because you get that like nice like if it's made right, especially homemade cake, like that nice spongy like taste, like it's great. Especially also depends like what type of cake. But like ice cream, it's like it's always like cold. And I mean there's different flavors which is nice and it's a huge variety, but at the same time it's like cake is just spongy and nice and just like you can have it hot like if you it's like a molten chocolate cake, but you can also have it cold. You know, if it's like just like a colder cake, like a cheesecake. Just saying that's still considered a cake. So like there's endless possibilities. So I definitely think there's a lot of like range with cakes where ice cream's kind of the same thing, just different forms. Where it's basically always cold. Like you get hot ice cream, you're basically just drinking a gallon of milk that's been sweetened.
I don't know. I personally would always go with ice cream. I don't really like cake because cake's just like dry to me. It's like dry and spongy. So like ice cream, you can like have all these toppings, and like you could do like deep fried ice cream, or you could do like chocolate malted ice cream and stuff like that. So personally, like I don't like how the texture of cake compared to ice cream. So that's like why I like ice cream better.
I mean, like, it is a good question because cake tastes good and then ice cream tastes good too. So I think like the only good answer for this would be a cake with ice cream in it. That way you have both.
Ice cream cake.
Yeah.
Ice cream cake's confusing though.
But like cheesecakes though.
So good.
Yeah, true.
When I think of ice cream, I think of like all iced treats. So, and I mean, what would you rather want in the summer? We're in California. Do you want a cake or do you want ice cream? Like, why would you want a cake when you have ice cream?
It's
That's how I think.
cheesecakes.
Cheesecake is one cake. One cake. And don't include ice cream cake. Ice cream cake is a love child. We're not including that one. I'm just saying, like, regular cake.
Would you
and regular
consider a cheesecake a cake or a pie a cake?
No, a pie is a
A
pie.
pie is not a cake.
A pie is a pie. But like a cheesecake is a cake.
Yeah.
But
no
it
one's
doesn't-
arguing
it
that it's
doesn't-
not.
But it's in a pie tin.
No, Brian, cheesecake is
don't-
not a cake. It doesn't have frosting or bread.
You can if you
Wait,
want.
no,
A crust is literally basically like
Yeah, but it's not like the loafy, like the spongy bread you were talking about.
okay, yeah, but like again, there's different forms. So like it's literally like okay, think about a Japanese cheesecake then. That's basically like a nice like
Oh my
bread.
gosh, that's so
That's
good.
cake.
Exactly, that's cake. But still cheesecake.
I've
But
never
And it has the word
Japanese.
cake in it.
If you call fried ice cream, then cheesecake is definitely still cake.
Whenever I think of cake, I think of having cake with ice cream.
Me too.
That too, yeah.
But, okay, so that for like as a dessert, I think I would choose ice cream because they come in like smaller servings and usually like you would be full after a meal. So like as a dessert, ice cream, but like cake is still good.
I think I feel more satisfied when I eat ice cream over cake if it's just one or the other, you know? Like I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe because of like the consistency of the ice cream compared to the cake. Because the cake, like you guys said, it's like spongy. There's air in it, you know. It's not like a brick or well, not a brick. Hopefully, it's not a brick. But like ice cream has that consistency where it makes you feel full, or I guess.
Yeah.
Brianna trying to eat bricks.
And that's it, I think, because it's like 5 o'clock. So any last words that you'd like? I mean, we can even go as which one's cuter, a Maine Coon cat or a Corgi, but we'll get
Seven.
Fox hyped up and then we'll never have time to talk. We know the answer. But anything else?
Final words are everyone stay safe out there. Keep doing what you're doing. Just please do be doing it safe. Big emphasis on safety because that's like just important. Have fun, make the most out of everything, and have a great summer.
And subscribe.
Like and subscribe, drop a comment.